All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of our great millstone, who are my teachers, and peace and salutations to you brothers out there preaching this word in truth and sincerity. This is the brother Yahweh with another lesson. Basically, today, man, this is just going to be a quick news and prophecy update. All right, there's a lot that's going on, and certain things that I want to go ahead and touch on. But before I get into it, I want to start off with the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and I'm going to start at verse 14, all right, because these are the times that we're coming into, the times that we are already in, all right, and so it reads 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14, and it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." That's right, man. You're going to have more and more fighting amongst the nations against each other, man, and not just kingdom against kingdom, as the scriptures say, but you're actually gonna have race wars, all right, riots, as we're about to get into, all right, and so much more, man. We're coming into the times of Jacob's trouble, into mass death and mass judgment, all right. All right, and so continuing it says in verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." And so that's right, man. And we're seeing this happen worldwide, man. Everything is going to hell. All right. And we're seeing this place, especially here in America, Babylon, crumble. All right. And this is all according to prophecy, man. And if you don't get it by now, hey, then more than likely you're not ever gonna get it. And so, it's high time to awake out of sleep, all right, and start calling upon the names of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, because we're coming into some very, very dark times, all right. And so it says, verse 17, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation." And so that's right, man. So these are the things that are coming onto the planet Earth, all right, in mass. All right, a judgment is going to go out, all right, and we're seeing it already happening. Okay, and so I have a few posts on X that I actually want to get into, and then Lord's will, we can grab some more scriptures. But for my first post, man, it says new rioters in LA are now looting stores while Democrat leaders try to downplay the riots. CA Governor Gavin Newsom is now blasting the Trump admin for trying to help federal agents while he does nothing. LA Mayor Karen Bass, on the other hand, is staying quiet as the violence continues to ramp up. The Trump admin announced on Saturday that they will be sending in the National Guard to assist and protect federal agents. The protesters have since responded and are now calling for mass mobilization in response to the announcement. And that's right, you're having all types of riots right now in LA due to the ICE deportations that are taking place. All right, and now, they're looting stores. I don't know how many stores they've looted, but even just one is more than enough for Esau Edom to go ahead and roll out the National Guard. All right, and this may be how they segue into martial law. All right, how they segue into implementing and making the MOTB mandatory, man. So keep your eyes peeled. All right, keep on watching. All right, because things are only going to get worse from here. All right, so from here, this other post I have, breaking Colombian presidential candidate Miguel Uribe has been shot in the head at an event in Bogota. A panic erupts as gunfire breaks out. Supporters flee in terror. And so that's right, you had this presidential candidate get shot. All right, and so he got shot in the head. And earlier we read in 2nd Ezra 15 that there shall be sedition. And I just want to grab that word for y'all one more time. All right, because that word sedition, the noun means rebellion, uprising, revolt, factitious commotion in the state, concerted attempt to overthrow civil authority, violent strife between factions, civil or religious disorder, riots, rebelliousness against authority. And so that's what you're seeing happen worldwide, man. You're seeing people just fight against the government. All right, they're fighting against the police. They're fighting against these ICE agents. All right, you got protests in France. All right, hey, there you got civil war over there in Africa. All right, so all these things are taking place. Okay, and it's important, hey, that you continue to read, you continue to trust in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, because these things that are only going to get worse. All right, matter of fact, I want to grab this in the book of Amos real quick. Book of Amos chapter 5, and jumping down to verse 18, and it reads, "Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh! To what end is it for you? The day of Hadawan Yahweh is darkness and not light." And so that's right, man. The day of the Heavenly Father, the day when He comes to judge the planet Earth, all right, and every man according to his works, that's going to be a day of darkness and not light, man. All right, there's going to be a lot of death, a lot of destruction that's going to take place. All right, and these are the beginning signs. All right, and so it says, continuing it in verse 19, "As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him." And so that's right. No matter what affliction you flee from, if you don't have the hedge of protection from the Heavenly Father, you're just going to flee from affliction to affliction to affliction. All right. And so it says, verse 20, "Shall not the day of Hadawan Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it?" And so that's right, man. So this day that we're coming into is going to be very dark. And the only light that we have is the light of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai's word, man. All right. And so things like this, all right, that we're seeing, a president's getting shot, all right, mass protests that are erupting. Matter of fact, let me see if I can grab the protests in France. Go to news. The protests in French farmers protest in Paris for law loosening environment regulations. All right, France is they got some crazy protests going on, man. French farmers protest as parliament clashes over agriculture bill. Tens of thousands took to the streets in France against racism and the rise of the far right. All right, so these things, they're going on, man. All right, and they're only going to get worse. And these things, they're coming to America. And let me see. Actually, look this up as well. I forget the exact place in Africa that it is. More than 4 million refugees have fled Sudan's civil war, UN says. African Union says Sudan's civil war creates worst humanitarian crisis in the world. So you're seeing things like this happen all over the world, man. It's not just here in America. All right, this sedition is taking place all over the world, and it's according to prophecy. All right. UN refugee agencies warns of impact for stability. Refugees survive violence, humiliation during escape. Only 14% of funding needs met in neighboring Chad. All right, it says the number of people who have fled Sudan since the beginning of its civil war in 2023 has surpassed 4 million. UN refugee agency officials said on Tuesday, adding that many survivors face inadequate shelter due to funding shortages. Now in its third year, the 4 million people is a devastating milestone in what is the world's most damaging displacement crisis at the moment. UN Refugee Agency spokesperson Eugene Bion told a Geneva press briefing. And you also have what's happening over there in Israel, and the Palestinians, man, they're having to eat turtle soup. All right. These things are taking place, and it's according to prophecy. All right. All these protests, all these assassination attempts. All right, you got the right here, Border Patrol Black Hawk on LA Street unloads dozens of boxes of arms and ammo, getting ready for major battle. All right, and why is that? Well, let me see. I want to right here. Update. This was posted 1 hour ago. LA descends into total chaos as Democrat militants attack federal facilities, trying to burn them down. It's war. And so you have them throwing rocks at the trucks that are passing by. All right, you had Trump. He deploys the National Guard in LA to tackle migrant riots. See that, man? He's picking up rocks, throwing them at the trucks, man, that are passing by. All right, they're trying to break into the ICE detention centers. All right, trying to free their family, their friends, their loved ones. All right, and these things are only going to escalate. All right, and this may be when a martial law is implemented. All right, when Esau cracks down with them draconian laws, because best believe that we're coming into those times, man. That's why it's important that you stay on your watch, you stay on your guard, because these things are not stopping. All right, hey, matter of fact, let me grab this in the book of Isaiah real quick. Isaiah chapter 55, and jumping down to verse I'm gonna start at verse 10. And so it says, for as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. And so that's right. And so this word has been sent out throughout the whole planet Earth, all right, through the four corners of the earth. And now we're seeing more and more prophecies starting to be solidified right before our eyes, man. All right, a so call halayim la Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai for these things that are coming to pass, because this signifies not only Esau's end, but the beginning of our salvation, man. We've been waiting for things like this to get worse, so that way, we know that by measuring the time diligently, that our salvation is around the corner. All right. Yeah. You got them talking about seceding from the U.S., declaring itself an independent nation. These things are getting crazy, man. Marines being sent out, all right, being put on standby and could be activated to assist the National Guard in restoring order in California. All right, and so these things, it's only going to get worse. All right, and so we have to be on guard. We have to be on our watch, knowing that at any moment, the Most High can have these things pop off, man. All right, and so it's important that you read, that you study, all right, and that you maintain your faith, because we see how these things are coming to pass. All right, and it's happening right in front of you, and if you can't grasp it now, then you may not be able to grasp it at any other time. All right, all types of things happening, man. All right, and it's starting over there in California so far. All right, but you also got issues in Chicago, issues in New York, issues in Texas. All right, all types of issues that are going on, man. You got Trump and Elon Musk splitting up. All right, they having heated debates. All right, India says it will not cooperate with BRICS countries to replace dollar with local currencies in trade. All right, you got Ukraine being bombed. All right, that war over there escalating. All right, so we're around the corner of the Heavenly Father's judgment day, man. All right, and so with that being said, man, we'll go ahead and end it off on this in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13. All right, and jumping down to the point in verse. Oh, Salakia, you know what? I'm thinking in Romans, Salakia. The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11, and it says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. And so that's right, it's time to cast off the works of darkness, man. Whatever you're going through, it's gonna be nothing compared to what we're about to experience, man. Jacob's trouble, all right, martial law, all right, these race wars, these riots, man. All right, so if you're being afflicted, you're being tried, man, continue to do the work, continue to focus on Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, because these things, all right, it may be very soon that you may not be able to go home. You may not be able to sleep in your bed, man. You may not be able to drive your car. You might have to be on the run. Or more than likely, I'll say you'll have to be on the run, man, because they're also going to come against the prophets of the Heavenly Father, man. They're also going to come and crack down on the Hebrew Israelites, man, the so-called black Hebrew Israelites. All right, even those of you who fell out, you think that you got away, that Esau is not going to track you down. All right, you probably going to be the first one that gets tracked down, man. Hey, so it's important that we, pertaining to Ephesians 6, we take on the whole armor of the Heavenly Father. All right, and we maintain our faith and we continue to walk under the shadow of the Almighty, pertaining to Psalms 91, so that way, we are protected in the day of doom, man. All right, and so once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, Adawan Radazah. This lesson was edifying, uplifting of the spirit. All right, and know that it's high time to awake out of sleep. Stay on your guard, man, because we see how things are starting to escalate worldwide. All right, and so till the next time I say Shalom.